Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Ready Talk Boxing Show. The Ready Talk Boxing Show with your host, Mr.A. As you can see, the screen is off. It's all fucked up. You are inside the head of Mr. A's, another edition of Mr. A's Thoughts. For you new viewers, that's what it is, Grab a concept, give my opinion on it. Sometimes it's a worldwide headline. Sometimes it's my thought out of thin air and we talk about it. So that siren you hear, the rehab center, that's what this is for you boxing junkies. So let's talk about it. Bitchness or business? Why do we have two new champions in the WBC? Middleweight division, Canelo bumps up to franchise champion. Charlo bumped up to grand champion, you say, the real champion. Now, I did a video prior to saying, did Charlo fuck up? Because he got the interim belt and he can never become a mandatory. He was never going to get that shot at Canelo due to that interim title. He gave away his prize of winning those two eliminators by collecting that interim belt. That erased all his victories basically. Now you can say Charlo did the right thing. The difference between him and Dylan White, he did the right thing. He did WBC axed eliminators, earned himself a title shot through winning two eliminators, regardless of who you may think his opponents was, or what you think of them, I should say, coming into 160. You beat who you get put in the ring with. So he did the right business, what you had to do as a fighter. Eliminator 1, Eliminator 2, request it upon yourself. Boom. I am a mandatory winner. I'm a two eliminator winner. I'm now mandatory. And then big news around the world, Triple G and Canelo. Now, everyone wants to see that fight, but that fight can't happen because WBC, every organization is a little wacky, but they make themselves so pride about being right. We're doing right. They publicly worldwide announced Charlo as the mandatory. They even threw out, hey, Triple G, if you want to fight Canelo, get your mandatory shot at not fight Canelo, but Triple G, mandatory versus Charlo. It never went down. They let the world know the next one in line was Charlo. They let it be known. So the WBC could not back out and away from Charlo. They let the world know Charlo is getting that shot next at the WBC belt. But this Triple G and Canelo noise, the world wants to see it. How can it happen without Charlo? And that's where I made the video before. I think I fucked up, dog. A lot of people says, I used to be one to think, okay, Canelo is ducking Charlo. That's the whole talk of this franchise and middleweight champion, the bump ups, the upgrades. That's the whole talk. Canelo got bumped up to duck Charlo. Bitchness or business? That's what we're talking here, right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. I used to think Canelo is ducking Charlo. Not that he can't beat him, but it's a tough fight. Why get paid same money for tough fights when I can get paid money for fights I'm more comfortable and confident in? That's all. Pay me an extra $10 million, yeah, I'll fight Charlo, fuck it. But back to that, I used to think he was ducking Charlo for those reasons until the Jose Sulaiman interview, and that's what I did the other video on. I fucked up on. You could go watch that video. It's more in depth about the article and where I got it from, where you can find the article at. Like I said, Charlo could be lying, Jose could be lying, but I'm just saying, if the president of the company does an interview and says it, either call him out on his lies. Someone has to ask Charlo this question, and no one ever has. You know, Jose Sulaiman during the interview saying they went up to Charlo and asked him, "Hey, as a mandatory, are you okay getting pushed back so we can have this phenomenal fight for boxing? You know, WBC wants to be a part of historic fights. You're still mandatory. You get the shot next. But would you wait a while for Triple G and Canelo so it could take place?" Charlo agrees. As a mandatory, I won't fight him. You know? Then he agrees again. Like, I get it. Yes, he's being a businessman. Businessman or bitchness? Business or bitchness? Business or bitchness? Bitchness or business? That's what we're talking here. So he agrees to not go through his mandatory fight twice. He has the opportunity to fight Canelo twice. Remember, the first fight is a draw. It's not like Canelo has to go get some get back. It's a fucking draw. He does not have to say, okay, to fight again. But he agrees to let them fight again. The last 2 times he turned down his mandatory shot at Canelo. Being a good businessman, it allowed Canelo to do his fight. And now Canelo goes on, and we know about Canelo's WBC connection. Throw the belt in the trash. Like I said, we ain't going down timelines because this is a boxing junkie channel. We know the history of this. If for some reason you're a new viewer and you're a casual, you can go into more article searching yourself and historic shit. Canelo throws a belt in the trash like fucking Riddick Bowe. Gets busted for fucking PEDs. WBC has his back. So we know that connection, and we know what he does as a Mexican champion representing a Mexican organization. We know the money he brings in to boxing, period. So WBC is always there. Now, again, business or bitchness. Is he ducking Charlo? Is he just business and above Charlo? Because he's on his own, folks. He's paid. He is paid. He's talking about fighting Kovalev. That lets you know he don't give 2 shits about the belt. You know, like I said, is he ducking Charlo? I think he just knows that's a damn tough fight. He knows it's a tough fight. It's like Spence and Crawford right now. They know it's a tough fight. Network problems, but it could be made. But give up the belt. I don't give a fuck. I'm on the zone. He's on Showtime. Through all this yada yada yada, I got a contract. I got to fight some 10 bums. Once in a while, I'll throw in someone. That's what Canelo's thinking. Now, throwing in Kovalev. Kovalev's getting older. He sees something not explosive. That tells you right there, Canelo is, I wouldn't quite say duck. I'm not gonna say he fully on duck Charlo by getting bumped up. I will say it was a bitch move. I won't say he's ducking him because he didn't have to. Like, I'm going with the rules here. I'm going with the rules, not by what we want as fans. As fans, we want to see Charlo and Canelo. I want to see that fight bad. You know, if people think Callum Smith can beat Canelo because the reach and the height, why not Jamal Charlo, who I believe is almost the same fucking stature and a better athlete and probably throws harder? You know, so those are some good ass fights. If you think Callum Smith has a good chance of beating Canelo, then you gotta think Jamal Charlo could do the same. You know, I would think so. You know, now as far as why it's hard for me within the rules and regulations to say it was a complete duck is why I did that video. Charlo kind of screwed himself in the end, and that's why I believe he really wasn't too much tripping like, yeah, I want to fight Canelo, I want to fight Canelo, but he never really went on to it because he couldn't publicly say, or he knew the answer back was, we asked him and he denied his mandatory shot twice by allowing a Triple G Canelo fight. They allowed that fight. So that's a denying your opportunity as a mandatory. Like, I don't want to fight. In other organizations, if you take a step aside opportunity, you get dropped. He was still number one at the WBC for allowing them to fight. The WBC did business or bitchness. They did business and let him keep his spot. Now, in doing so, they gave him the interim. And that's where, like I said, go watch the video. The interim champion can never be mandatory. That's a crazy rule. Crazy fucking rule. But they can never be mandatory. That's why I'm on the fence of a duck with Charlo and Canelo. It's a lot of gray areas in the rules that both teams kind of, like I said, according to Jose Suleiman, the interview of the WBC president, Team Charlo and Team Canelo both did some agreeing to allow the Triple G Canelo fight. So it's kind of hard to say they ducked each other when they kind of worked with each other to make that fight. Now, as far as ducking, I do believe, well, first I want to say 160, I do believe the WBC had just made it tough for everybody, because I do think Charlo is a beast. I think he's a beast. You know, I had him losing Matt Kobrov fight, yes, but hey, you know, I had him losing that fight with the earlier rounds. He came on strong and he took the fight, but he just gave up too many early rounds. So blame it on the emotions of his brother losing. Blame it on, like, hey, just fucking bad night. It happens, you know what I mean? But hey, my favorite fighter, people say Erislandy Lara got a gift. Hey, gifts. It's Christmas. Everyone gets a gift, right? Now, for the WBC doing this, and everyone knew a lot of the belts was on the zone. Andrade, the WBA and BC was Canelo. The IBF was Canelo as well, right? He beat Jacobs for the IBF. So there was 3 belts right there, and the 4th with Andrade. And now they have to see Charlo. They have to see Charlo. It's no more calling out, pretending bullshit. You know where Charlo is. If you're going to say, hey, come over here and fight me, no. You know, maybe you have to go on his network. You know, you want that belt. So I would say they created a big problem and probably a monster. I think Charlo is a pretty damn good fighter. I think he's good. He got, I think, just an off night with the Kobrov. Hey, it happens. It happens. Learn from it. We'll see if that repeats itself again. Then hey, Charlo is not who we thought he was. I know some people don't like the Charlo brothers. I personally think Maul is a lot better. I'm in the circle when they first was coming up. Everyone thought Maul was the better fighter. I'm one of those people, you know. I thought Maul would go further than Mel, and you know, I'm not the only one in that fucking comment. Now, before we go on out, like I said, bitchness or business. Canelo doing special events, positive speaking for WBC, business shit. You fight him, you beat him, you get a diamond belt. You know, the franchise title is no bigger than fucking Tyson Fury walking around here saying a lineal champion. It's like, yeah, whatever, okay. You call yourself that. You know? So you beat Canelo, you get a diamond belt. Now the diamond belt, quick second rundown, that's like a belt out of a dream. You know, it could mean, hey, I just got something that's made up, or the WBC can make that like a instant champion belt. That if you read the rules, that diamond belt can be held. For instance, if the diamond belt, some guy beats Canelo, fucking Willie Monroe Jr. beats Canelo, and he's the diamond belt champion. He could instantly get a shot at the champion, of course. But if for some strange reason Charlo is doing like shit, not fighting tough people, not doing, barely squeaking by, and Willie Monroe Jr. are over there getting knockouts with the diamond belts, they can just elevate Willie Monroe to super champion with that diamond belt. If you read the rules, the diamond belt can be placed above the regular champion. It's weird, and he has to defend it if it's mandated. But if it's not mandated, you never lose that title on a fight. It's weird. It's a weird rule. Like that belt, only WBC allows when that belt is on the line. When it transfers, it's a weird belt. So that's what you get if you beat Canelo right now. You get an instant cash, crazy belt. It can mean something or it cannot mean something, but you can be placed an instant champ above Charlo if you win this diamond belt. It's a crazy rule, but now it's to ducking, business or bitchness. A lot of business went on with this move. A lot of business moved on. Like I said, Charlo was so loyal to the WBC by allowing them to be part of history of these fights that you can say the WBC showed business and loyalty to Charlo for being loyal and businessman to them. So they took Canelo's belt away and gave it to Charlo. And you're like, you know what, but we still want to have graces with Canelo, so we're just going to give him some fake shit to keep him as our friend. But hey, we owe this to Charlo because Charlo helped us make a shitload of money with Canelo. Without Charlo, we couldn't have made that fight. So we're going to reward you as the true champion for boxing because boxing wants to see Charlo fight, and we're just going to give Canelo this title because we want to make money with him. We're on a money making mission, but we also want to represent boxing with Charlo. That could be the business aspect of it, or you could say it's bitchness, because WBC wants to protect their money boy. Don't want the world to see him get hurt, so they give him a belt to Charlo. Business or bitchness? Right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. And the only ducking that went on, I believe, is Canelo ducked Andrade. You can't say you want to have, I want to unify the division, and then you got one more belt right on your same network as DAZN, and you give up one belt. You can't. That's ducking. Thank you for tuning in.